Hi, everyone. It's Nia Claire with the Light Up. I am so excited to be able to share with you today one of our amazing talents is going to be helping to bring forward this event on the 20th. So, November 20th, Annie Fitzgerald, who is a recording artist. She's a sound therapist. She's a Reiki healer. She's an all around just amazing talent. And she said yes to sharing her musical gifts with us at the event. And she will be our featured artist. So, Annie, welcome. I'm so glad you're here
Mhm.
with us today.
Thank you so much, Nia. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the Light Up this weekend.
Wow. We are grateful to have you. And I met Annie briefly. So that what's really funny is sometimes you meet people and you just know there's like a thing that and I have a child, so she's always watching children's movies. Obviously, in the Hotel Transylvania, there's this thing about a zing, right? We
I
have
love
a
that.
zing, right?
We have a zing. We
We
have
have
a
a
zing.
zing, and when I met you, I immediately knew I didn't have to know anything about what you do. I'm like, who is this person? I just love her. Like I need to
Mm.
know her. I need to work with her. I need to see her. And so this last month, I thought we were going to be doing something else for the light up when I was planning for November. And sometimes the best laid plans need to be set aside because all of a sudden I was like, it's got to be different. And then Annie like came into my thoughts. I'm like, yes. And so I called her. I
Mm.
said, would you be willing to share your gifts and talents with us at the event? And I was so grateful that you said yes. And
Well,
so
I
this is,
felt the
go
zing
ahead.
with you right away too. So the zing is there, and I'm so grateful. I'm so
Isn't
grateful
that
to be
cool
able
that we get to
to.
do
Yeah.
that? And honor that and trust it. And so I would love for everyone to get to know you a little bit more,
Mhm.
find out who you are, what you're about, what you do. And so would you tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey or how you came to be a sound therapist and get into
Mhm.
Reiki and all that? We'd love to hear.
Yes, I would love to share. So I have been a musician for many, many years. I grew up singing and dancing and doing musical theater and things, and started writing and kind of playing guitar and thinking about singing my own songs when I was probably 16 or 17. And I went to the U here and I got my degree in vocal performance. Studied opera and all the different things, and then started working at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater in the Ordway in town as an actor, singer, dancer, and had been a company member at Chanhassen for probably 4 years. And finished my last show, which was Cats. I was the little kitten
Oh.
that sang Memory, and then decided, you know what, I don't, I need to move to New York because
Uh-huh.
it had been pulling me. So I moved to New York after that show closed and really started just getting the pull that it was time for me to start singing my own music and diving into songwriting. So I was out in New York City and was a touring musician for, I was out in New York for about 10 years and put out some records and then moved back to Minnesota and have always been. Writing and playing and touring. And when the pandemic happened, I had to shift things, and there was lots
Yeah.
of change that happened in my personal life. And um, throughout my process, I have studied the Akashic records. I work in the records, and I love how much that opened up my relationship to my soul and to just my spirituality,
Yeah.
and so I probably in 2015 sound healing started calling and whispering, I guess I should say. And then all the things happened, and I needed to sort of pivot and figure out what was next for me. And I was able to, in 2018, I had the most amazing experience with my now teacher, Three Trees in Sedona. I had my first sound healing session with him, and it was profound for me in
Wow.
so many ways. And um, the stars aligned, and he had started trainings again, and I was able to go and train with him for about a year. And have just been so grateful to step into this work. I think I had mentioned it to you that I've always felt that my work as a singer-songwriter has been healing work as well, because I'm healing myself, and then
Yeah.
sharing it with others and connecting with people's hearts, and um, in that way. And I really just feel so grateful, because I feel like this is just an extension of that work. Because my songs are very channeled, and this work is very channeled, and so it just feels like um, the gift of being able to step into this work has also helped me heal and become more whole, which has really
Yeah.
been the gift. So
Oh, I
yeah,
love that. And I love how you said
yeah.
that, to become more whole. And you know, there's some sound is very interesting. At least I find. It's through sound that I was able to finally get quiet and l- allow myself to meditate. I started chanting, and I started it sound is it allows us to feel ourselves, our whole self. And if we were not, how do I want to put it, if we were so broken, we wouldn't resonate with sound. You know, it's very hard for a broken glass to resonate, right, with the sound that's around it. But when it's a whole glass, it resonates. You hear it, you can pick up the tone and all of this. And so there's something truth telling in that I found through working with sound myself, that it knows more than my brain can know, than the story of me. I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
It resonates so much. We're all frequency and vibration, and
Right.
moving through this world, and there is something about the sound that works with us on this just really broad sort of a way. I mean, it works with us energetically, it works with us physically, and it also allows us the sound sort of, I have a lot of people that come to see me who have a lot of trouble meditating, and they say, I just can't meditate, I can't get down into those
Right.
brainwave states, because my brain just won't shut off. And it really does allow that little voice that comes in, and you start thinking when you're meditating, and then you start saying, oh gosh, I'm so bad at this, go back to the
Yes,
breath, go back to the breath. The sound sort of cuts that out,
it
and just
totally
puts it
does.
puts it over into a different spot, so that you're really able to sink so much more deeply into meditation. Even if you're good at meditating, it just
Yeah.
brings a whole nother level of medicine into the picture.
Oh my gosh. I so agree. I used to teach a class on meditation, and I used to laugh that I was teaching a class on meditation, because I for years could not. I thought, this is the dumbest thing ever. I can never shut off my brain. Good luck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was um through sound that I was able to do it, and not having it be words, but really deep, resonant sound. And Stacy's on. Stacy, Dorinda, and Shalena, thank you for joining us. And anybody else who's on, if you want to say hi, we love to say hi. And Stacy says sound has taken her meditation to another level. She loves that. And so I love that sound is something that you're so passionate about. It clearly, it clearly resonates. Clearly,
Yes.
what you're about. And I also had the great pleasure of listening to the songs that you've written, and your um, artistry as a recording artist. And I have to tell you, I knew they'd be good. I didn't have a question about that, but I really, the words and the um, your music is just beautiful and soul affirming, soul opening.
Thank you.
Very, very, very beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel um, very lucky. I am I'm a Pisces rising. I am very open as far as feeling other people's things.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time with my kiddo Will, who's now 10. He was a late talker, and he helped, how our kids are our teachers and help us, reparent ourselves. I spent a lot of time with him
Oh, yeah.
when he was learning to go through his speech things, and really working with him so much around emotion and putting words to emotion and understanding how it is that he feels. And I think that had brought like a whole nother layer to my work, because I
Yeah.
really do just explore emotion in a sort of broad way. And I think that's also um, been really helpful to me as I've stepped into this work, to kind of integrate that into sound healing sessions too.
I love that. And I have a question from Dorinda, who's asking, do you use
Yeah.
bowls, tuning forks? What are your tools? What are the tools of the
Yes.
trade?
What are the tools of the trade? Well, my teacher Three Trees has some shamanic training in his background. So, and the way that he taught us was to really sort of let the session be intuitively guided, um, and the idea when I step into a session with somebody is to break up the energy that needs to
Hmm.
be broken up, move it out and clear it, and then fill it all back up again. So I really use sound in that way. I use lots of different tools. Probably on Sunday at the Light Up event, I'm going to maybe bring things that I won't use, but I just don't ever know what I'm going to use. So I don't want to not have my tools with
It's
me.
fair.
But I use drums, I use shakers, I use rattles, I use Tibetan bowls. I wish I could show you all the things in my space right now. Tibetan bowls. I use. I have some gongs. I love my ocean drum.
Mm.
I use different chimes. And I also really integrate, I use crystal bowls, and I use sacred voice as well. So I really kind of weave, I call my sessions sound journeys, because it really does feel like a journey that we're on together.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. So, would you say that what you are bringing forward at the Light Up is going to be a sound journey?
Yes, I think it's going to be a guided sound journey. I think I'll, guide us to really be present in our bodies and in our rooms and connect our hearts together, and then we'll go on a journey together, and yeah, set some intentions. And I'm so grateful. I just can feel into how heart centered and nurturing this event's going to be, and
Yeah.
just I can't wait for it. So.
Yeah. I'm feeling the same. Every event has been wonderful. I mean, I better than I anticipated, because you just kind of have an idea and then it turns out to be better. And one of the things with the Light Up that I've shared with you is it really is co-created by everyone who shows up. The people that are saying yes to offering their services, the artists, the vendors, all of it, like we're all working together, and there's like this harmony at play, that there are these connections that none of us would have ever thought of, and we're all picking up on little pieces of it.
Mhm.
And then there are all the people who are coming, who are, when you're saying yes to coming to the event, purchasing your ticket, or just deciding you're going to be there, show up that day, when you decide to do that, your yes is adding into that co-creative force that is shaping this event. And there was something at in there's something happening
Mhm.
even before we all said yes to it, that there is this thing that is um, here to be nourishing and
Mhm.
supportive for everyone. And we were talking before the event about, or before this conversation about, this tenderness, this heart centeredness.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the work that you'll be doing there, it really feels like you're inviting people, like, to come
Mhm.
and play full full-heartedly.
Yes, for sure.
Wholeheartedly?
Wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly. Yes. I also I work in the Akashic Records as well, and I also I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so I also infuse Reiki. I Reiki my instruments beforehand, and I also usually open the records, which is also, I know Tommy has spoken about it because Tommy's a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful practitioner. And
Yes.
just there's such a undercurrent of unconditional love in the records that the sound and the Reiki and all of it just it feels like it will be so nurturing. And I know that we're just coming off of a pretty intense eclipse season, and
Just a little,
just a little, intense, just a little bit. And I really feel like just filling up everyone's cups at this event is just going to be so beautifully timed.
yeah. It's I think you nailed it. I think we've been in a state of self-protection, like amplified self-protection and righteousness and separation for so long that it's instead of being like a conscious habit, we're like, yeah, I'm totally doing that on purpose. It's just become a bit of a way of being. And I think it's hard to open ourselves up because it's almost like that old adage, even though so many of us have done healing around this, especially around this phrase of, when's the other shoe going to drop?
Yeah.
When it like, great, now I'm open again. And then you all just abandoned me, or then the door's shut again. And I think there's a different quality that is coming in with the age of Aquarius that we're now actively in, which is instead of devoting ourselves to one person, it's that we are learning how to be devoted to our highest self, but not alone. It's not about standing alone. It's about being in harmony where we're honoring each other. And like this is where the music comes in. It's like you can play a note, but I'm playing a note. And Tommy's on. That's why I'm calling Tommy. And you mentioned Tommy. Tommy plays a note, and Dorinda, you show up and you play a note, and it will never be the same song again.
Yeah.
And so we need to be willing to be part of the music.
Yes. Yes. And
I'm gonna
and
cry. Like,
so
like
am
this is
I.
just like coming out of me.
So am I. So am
Mhm.
I. And I think that there's something too so important about, and maybe this is giving me some insight into the intention around the session, but it's so important for us to all just really be intentional about, connecting our hearts and realizing that we all are one and we all are here to support each other. And I think that the energy that we're stepping into now and into next year's astrology even too is just around collaboration and
Yeah,
realizing how we are so much better when we're together.
that's right.
Because we just are,
That's right.
you know.
We are. We are. Like, look at like this conversation. I could be here talking and you could be talking. We could both be on our own pages talking,
Yeah.
saying all that we're saying. But when we're together, something else emerges.
Yeah.
And that's the piece. It's like it's letting go enough to allow something new to come through. And that's an act of faith.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
don't know.
alchemy.
You could be a hot mess. I could be a hot mess. Like we could be ruining each other. Like we could, but we're not,
No,
right? But
because
we
we're
don't.
setting intentions
That's
too.
right.
Intention is huge, and
That's right.
it's something that I've been thinking about too. My teacher, I studied with Jonathan Goldman, who's a pioneer in sound healing, and
Yeah.
some people ask me too sometimes about sound healing, like what different frequencies or hertzes does it affect the chakras and things. And my teacher was all about, you know what? He's like, it doesn't really matter because frequency plus intention
Yeah.
equals healing.
That's right.
It just
Yeah.
does. It's the intention behind it. And if we all step into it, the intention of connecting in community with each other's hearts and being of service to each other
Yeah.
and making sure that we are all stepping into our wholeness as much as we possibly can at
Yeah.
whatever stage and layer we are in our healing journeys, because they are always layers. There's always a new
That's
layer.
right.
Um, it just It's a beautiful thing.
It really is. It really is, and I love that. I agree with that. And I think that's hard to take too,
Yeah.
because it means, the stories that we tell ourselves about the way things need to be is part of that cracking apart that we're experiencing collectively, right? There's certain rules, there are certain ways that things are done. This is what a business is, this is what a gathering is, this is who gets paid, this is who gets this, all these rules.
Yeah.
And And in order to change that, in order to allow something new to emerge, you have to kind of just be in it and create space for something different. And that it really, really, really is beautiful. I could sit here and talk about this like for a gazillion years. And the thing is that so many of us have been talking about it. We talk about it. And then when it comes to our own practice, there's a lot more affinity and familiarity with the structure.
Mhm.
So we almost just default to the structure because we know that that's going to get a result.
Yeah.
We don't know what the result is when we let go and we allow for something else. We don't know what that's going to be.
It's such a testament to trust.
Hmm.
And it's also a beautiful thing to think about how supported you can feel in a community when you're allowing the trust to come through next to people who are doing the same thing, and how that just amplifies the energy and the intention. And yeah,
It really
so,
shifts the story about there's just not enough,
yeah, there's
doesn't it?
always enough.
Where there's always enough. There's
Always enough.
there's there's plenty.
Mhm.
And yeah, I feel like, we're about to go into, not to get into anything, but we are experiencing a global recession. We're experiencing, which immediately triggers feelings of lack and uncertainty and challenge. And there is still plenty. It just might be done differently, or the approach may need to shift. But if we're so busy looking at things through the lens of there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough, there's nowhere for that new way to rise up. There's no way for that conversation to be had. There's nowhere for that possibility, that fruit to grow. And that's in everything right now. So here we are with this energy of abundance, this energy of expansion, and simultaneously this intense external constriction.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go back to what you said
Mhm.
about sound healing, because the first thing you do is what? Break it up. You use sound to break it up. What are you breaking up?
Stuck energy,
Yeah.
um, intentions and thoughts that aren't serving us.
Right. So all that constriction,
All of
all
that, all
that
the constriction.
knottiness, all that plaque, all
Yeah.
that, like, the sticky, yucky stuff, and it gets broken apart, and then whoosh, there it is. It's and that's it. Like, this is, I'm not sitting here like an expert telling you this. Like, it's what I'm experiencing and thinking about what we're talking about. And Dorinda, breaking up the shit. Yes, indeed,
Yes.
breaking up the shit.
Yes, Dorinda.
Like,
Yes.
I love it. Let's break
Yes.
it up, because
Mhm.
um then we're open to something
Yep.
that is nothing like what we could have imagined. I mean,
Mhm.
I just laugh. I'm like, 4 or 5 months ago, I was in it up to here.
Mhm.
The world is a terrible place. I'm going back to corporate. I'm gonna go get my office job on, do like, be normal, just so much easier.
Mm.
And then something happened, like something shifted.
Mhm.
And I had to let go to experience something more.
Yep.
And
And then you
never,
created these amazingly gorgeous events
yeah.
that are
And
helping so
but
many
I'm
people.
not doing it alone. Like, it was an
No.
idea, and I am
Mhm.
watching people I didn't know 4 months ago, 5 months ago, come
Mm,
together with such a level of enthusiasm and curiosity and playfulness and zeal
yes.
that and I couldn't have imagined what is happening. And so that's part of that breaking up. And so I'm so excited you're going to be there. I'm so excited we're
Oh,
doing this. What I'd love for people to know, because I think um you coming in as a special artist, which you are, like you're the artist doing this. You're the artist formerly known as Annie Fitzgerald. You're the artist coming in. Um, but what tell me about what a sound session, like if I wanted to have a one-on-one,
Mhm.
first of all, what are some of the reasons people come to you? And then
Sure.
what is it like? Because
Yeah.
I don't think everyone knows, and I'm
Yeah.
sure I know it's like music. It's like how it'll be
Yeah.
changing, but
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah. I would love to. I I kind of speak with people. I guide. I work out of Collective Dimensions in Crystal.
Yay,
So
collective
grateful for the
dimension.
community. I love this community so much, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. But I do I do one-on-one and duo sessions with people here, and I also do group journeys. And I usually tell people it's been so beautiful because I've had a lot of people who haven't experienced a sound healing coming to me lately. As I think people are feeling the pull. But a lot of times, we will set intentions as a group and we will move through the journey. And I always tell people that everybody experiences it a little bit differently. A lot of people that have been coming to me lately have been struggling with anxiety
Mhm.
and depression, and it can definitely really help with that a lot. I also have some people that have become new clients that are working through some pretty big traumas, so it's been a gift to help them. But sound, everybody experiences it differently. I know for me, when I had my first journey with trees. I felt things physically moving out of my body. I am a very visual person,
Mhm.
and so I saw things, and I, a lot of people see colors. Some people feel sometimes, and I always tell people that some of the sounds can make you feel uncomfortable, and that's
Mhm.
totally normal and okay. It's just the energy moving and clearing. Um, some people fall asleep during sound journeys because they need to. Really,
Yeah,
it's one of those things where spirit kind of helps me guide people into the experience that they really are needing,
that's wonderful.
energetically, physically, spiritually. Um, and the other thing that really is helpful too is that it just helps you sink so much deeper into meditation. So the messages and things that I have received when I have been a recipient of sound healing sessions have been really beautiful and profound,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful for them. So there are a lot of layers, and I also like to tell people that there doesn't, wherever you are at on your journey, like this work can be for you because the body, our physical body and sound react. There's so much science coming out right now
Mhm.
that around sound healing, which is just a gift, and I can't quite keep up with it all just yet. To speak about it in an intellectual way yet. I'm going to attend some conferences because I really do want to dive more deeply into that piece. But wherever you are at on your journey, the sound will be beneficial and beautiful and reach you exactly where you are.
I love that. I love that. And I think um, it's my experience too is like that with sound healing. I've been to several different ones, and it doesn't always have to be an event.
No.
People often think it needs to be an event.
Mm-hmm.
They think about going to a healing where you have, a bunch of people laying down and their gongs and things, and that's powerful. But what I'm hearing you say is that just allowing this, and it sounds to me like your intuition is actively engaged through the entire piece, so that
Yes.
you're meeting people where they're at. You're
Mm-hmm.
allowing the sound to help guide the experience,
Yes.
and you're there to help make sure that things are safe and clear um, and supportive.
Yes.
That to me is when I think about about sound healing, it's like sometimes we just need to come back to ourselves. And sound allows us to remember who we are because, again, I'm going to go back to that broken glass piece. I never quite thought of it that way. This is what happens to me, just so you know. Like as a child, this is how I
I
live
love
my
it.
life. Like things just come flying in.
Love it. Yeah.
But I had this, like, we think of ourselves as broken,
Hmm.
but sound tells us otherwise.
Yes.
And so sound says, nope, your glass is just smudged. If you just clean that schmutz up, you know, you'll resonate a little bit more clearly.
Mhm.
Oh, you just put your glass in a case. That's why we can't hear the resonance. Let's just move the case. Or you put a cloth in the glass and now it's not resonating. Let's just pull that. It's not anywhere about brokenness.
Mhm.
And so to me, sound is, it's almost like it should be called sound holing,
Mm. That's beautiful. That's
not
so beautiful.
HOLE,
Yes.
but you
No. Yeah. Like
know,
the aspect of wholeness. Yes.
yeah,
Because
it
it
just
really
like it
does
hits
help
me.
us.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's any other modality that I recognize that actually there's a physical experience that
Mhm.
that helps you understand your wholeness.
Yeah. It's so beautifully said.
Yeah. I
So
just
beautifully said.
I never thought about it before we sat down here. So there you go. That's,
I love
but
it.
it's hitting me like right we're in a place where for me it's like it's not just heart space, it's like deep in clear.
Mhm.
Um and I think so many of us are so busy focusing on how to fix our brokenness. Like, wouldn't it just be nice to know that you're whole and all you need to do is do a little bit of cleanup or pull some things out or just, decide you're going to put yourself in a different environment,
Mhm.
and then you get to see and feel yourself. So I am so excited. I'm so excited for what people get to experience. Thank you, Annie, for sharing so
Thank
much of
you.
yourself today. I could talk to you for days.
I could
This
talk
is
to you
I
for days too. I can't wait for
just
us to get together so we
I
can
know.
talk for hours.
It's
But
gonna happen. It's gonna
yeah.
happen. And I want to say thank you to all of you who've joined. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I'm just gonna remind you that you can. I did put a link in the notes, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm glad to help you. We do have space still available, and come see Annie, come be a part of this.
Mm.
It's going to be delightful. And there's always a way when we put our energy into, yes, I want to be there, all of a sudden things clear up, including the
Mhm.
weather. Maybe we'll have
Yes.
just a nice, beautiful Sunday. I hope so.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Annie. And thank you,
Thank you,
everybody, for
Mia.
joining us today. We'll talk
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
Bye.